Look who the insectoids dragged in.
About time you guys got here.
We have a universe to save.
Don't we always?
Ultimate Captain Forrest here, and in today's video I'm going to be power scaling the Ultimate Fantastic Four from Marvel Comics 1610. Now if you guys are new to my channel, please leave a like, comment down below and of course subscribe for further content. Also huge shout out to the HQ squad, massive shout outs to the team, they've been a huge help in my videos, and also shout outs to KKrimbus, he also helped with some of the calcs in this video, so huge shout outs to KKrimbus. So anyway, back onto the grind. Back with some more Ultimate Marvel content. I know you guys enjoy Ultimate Marvel scaling. It is very underrated, and I figured I'd talk about the Ultimate Fantastic Four and talk about some of the scaling for each individual character. I will go over Mr. Fantastic himself. I'll talk about Thing, talk about Invisible Woman, and also the Human Torch himself and all that good jazz. So I'm going to go ahead, start off with the brains of the operation, the brains of the group, Mr. Fantastic. As a teenager, Reed has shown to be extremely smart, showcasing his extensive knowledge on dimensions. Reed was the first person ever to design a machine that was capable of teleporting a car to the negative zone. It's noted by the agent that Reed's intellect is vastly above public school, as it would be a waste of Reed's time being there. Reed was given a position to work as a scientist at the Baxter Building. In issue 3 of Ultimate Fantastic Four, it's noted that Victor Von Doom was the one that sabotaged Reed's formula, so instead of them teleporting an apple across to another location, the Fantastic Four were teleported instead, but this teleportation messed them up, giving them their unique powers, and in this case, specifically for Reed, changed the way his physical body and some of his physiology on top of that would work. The cells in his body have been replaced with pliable bacterial stacks, which allows him to stretch and extend his body a myriad of ways without disrupting his internal organs. In fact, Reed lacks some internal organs and his body functions just fine. He has no heart and doesn't require oxygen. Reed no longer needs to eat due to the changes in his body. Reed's elastic-like body can reflect back bullets off his rubber skin back at his opponents, so he can also use attack reflection due to how his body works. Now another thing that's interesting about Reed is that he may look smart on paper, but when it comes to combat situations, he's definitely not lacking. So in issue 4 of Ultimate Fantastic Four, Reed demonstrates that he is able to react to a punch from the Thing and coil his body around this angry Thing and restrain him. Reed is able to use his elastic body to wrap himself into a ball and propel himself out. He also replicates the physics of a bouncy ball and bounces off objects. He also coils his body around a giant creature's mouth and body to restrain it. In Ultimate Power, Reed was able to endure a fireball from Human Torch burning him. Reed is also shown to restrain multiple enemies. In Ultimatum, Reed is able to overpower and restrain Ultimate Namor and used a device powerful enough to electrocute Namor and incapacitate him. Now moving on to more of his big brains and inventions. In issue 25 of Ultimate Fantastic Four, Reed's powers continues to make him smarter. He can stretch his brain to increase his intellect to solve problems. In issue 38, Reed receives a knowledge amp from Dreamcatcher on creating the Cosmic Cube. That's right folks, Reed Richards created the Cosmic Cube after obtaining a knowledge amp. In issue 50, Reed demonstrates his proficiency with the Cosmic Cube, showing he's able to use it very well. Reed himself has invented specific things for the team. In issue 10, Reed invented a car called the Fantastic Car, which has a built-in battery pack that uses the energy from the universe as fuel. His teammates roast his invention sadly, but it still works. In issue 26, Reed has a helmet that manifests his thoughts into 3D constructs and can use them in combat and other miscellaneous stuff. The constructs he creates are strong enough to physically damage Namor. Reed has another creation called the Fantastic 05. I know, the name's kind of lame, but despite the name, this machine has all the Fantastic Four's powers combined. He used the Fantastic 05's ability to physically damage Namor too in combat. Now, I've been mentioning Namor in this video, and you guys are wondering, why is this impressive? So Namor himself is able to take attacks from Human Torch, and Human Torch is showing some town level explosive feats. There are some higher arguments you can make for Namor, scaling to Human Torch's higher feats, but it just depends on how high you have the Human Torch in terms of attack potency, but I will pretty much break that down near the end of the video. And lastly, as for speed, Reed has great reaction speed and reflexes. He was able to evade multiple lasers being fired at him. This speed feat was calced around the 5 to 17% the speed of light, aka relativistic speeds. Also, shoutouts to KKrimbus as well, he also calced this feat for me as well. Shouts to him. All the Fantastic Four members would also scale to this, so easily they would all have relativistic speeds. Now there is low end speed scaling that I've mentioned in my previous videos on the ultimate characters, which would easily range comfortably around the supersonic to massively hypersonic to relativistic speeds. That's going to round up Mr. Fantastic. Let's move on down the line and talk about Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman. Mole Man explains to Sue in detail about how her invisible powers work. Her very powers warp how light rays project off the electromagnetic fields around her and other places. By concentrating, she can turn her body invisible in unique ways, such as making her skin invisible, only showing her internal organs and skeleton. Sue becomes more proficient with her powers, demonstrating impressive feats with her invisible powers. I'll start off with its impressive durability feats and AP feats. Sue has shown to hurt Hyperion with her powers. An insane endurance and durability feat from Sue's force field was when she placed a barrier around Hyperion and endured the pain from the damage inflicted by his punches to the barrier, and she was still able to maintain the barrier, and the barrier was also taking attacks from him. She even keeps the barrier sustained when Human Torch performs a supernova inside the barrier. She uses the last of her strength to create a barrier to stop Human Torch from falling to his death. Sue herself has consistently shown to contain supernova blasts from Human Torch. Another impressive feat also comes from the time where 616 Galactus appeared on Earth 1610. Sue's barrier was shown to be strong enough to intercept a blast from a hungry 616 Galactus. Very impressive. Now 616 Galactus, when he's hungry, has many types of feats. It just depends on the quantification. He easily has some really good creation level scaling even when he's hungry, or if he's really starving, he easily has some, some uni plus, low multiversal plus scaling that's like low balling, being extremely safe. So right there and there, this is very impressive for Sue Storm. Very impressive. Really good prominent durability and AP feats with her barrier. Very impressive. Now, Sue has shown to use her powers in unique ways. She can project invisible constructs to attack her enemies. Sue can create invisible barriers that can reach 50 feet. Her barriers can also block magic attacks too. Sue can create invisible squares and form a box construct around some robot bugs and crush them all inside the box. Thanks to Sue's barriers being invisible, her opponents cannot see them, so it gives her an advantage in terms of catching her opponents off guard and also being able to just one-shot them. She can use sealing with her barriers to trap her opponents inside the barrier. Sue can also use her barriers to suffocate her opponents by placing a barrier over their head or inside their bodies and organs. She's demonstrated to be able to phase through or inside her opponent's body. Her constructs are also bulletproof too. She can create sharp barriers to stab or slash her opponents. Sue can also form invisible armor around her, which grants her the ability to levitate and fly. She's shown to use her barrier to traverse underwater and breathe inside her barrier. She can place her constructs inside her opponent's vital organs to incapacitate them. She can make you go blind by turning your optic nerves invisible. She can cause brain damage to her opponents by using her invisible powers to remove a part of their brain too. Sue has utilized her powers in such a way, such as the time where she placed a barrier inside her throat to block out gases and also used them to trap/block out widespread gases as well. Sue can also make people invisible. She can use her powers to reconstruct machinery. Sue's senses are attuned to the invisible spectrum, allowing her to detect invisible people before they can surprise her. And lastly, Sue is very intelligent. She has an IQ of at least 170. She's invented and created devices such as the device to track the Infinity Stones, and Reed even admits that Sue is a little bit more smarter than him in certain departments. Now, due to Sue's mind operating differently, it makes it hard for others to use mind manipulation on her. So that's going to round up the Invisible Woman. I'm going to go ahead and move on and talk about the Human Torch himself. Now I'm going to go ahead and work my way up with some of Human Torch's feats. The Human Torch performs a casual explosion which was calced around the town level ranges. Very impressive. Now we can get more higher, folks. The Human Torch also performed a stronger supernova which was also calced around the country level ranges. There is some other higher scaling. You can take Ultimate Human Torch, as there is a feat where Human Torch one-shots Dr. Spectrum. This very same Dr. Spectrum performed a feat where he clashed with Hyperion, which this explosion was calced around the multi-continental levels of attack potency. Human Torch was also able to damage Ultimate Hulk. We've seen Ultimate Human Torch damage and hurt Ultimate Namor, and it's noted that Human Torch is the strongest member out of his team. There was another statement from Ultimate Dormammu that Human Torch has so much potential and that he has the power of a god. Some pretty serious statements right there, folks. Very impressive. Now, that's going to conclude all of the Human Torch's, pretty much his basic feats. I'm going to move over and talk about the Human Torch's powers and abilities. The Human Torch could control and activate and turn off his flame powers. While Human Torch is in his flame form, he is lighter than air, as the combustion keeps him airborne, allowing him to fly. Reed notes that Human Torch's physiology has a natural thin film around his body, which makes him fireproof. His body converts body fat into clean nuclear fusion, which is how Johnny is able to combust and remain in this state. The heat from Human Torch's flames can reach beyond the point of 4,000 degrees, which is very hot. Now, the Human Torch is shown to completely turn glass into gas with his flames. So there's some transmutation due to the heat and obviously just how the chemical compounds work. His flames can also melt steel and objects to slag. Human Torch can perform blasts of fire from his hands. He can also coil his opponents in fire, and he can also perform a supernova where he combusts and a giant area of effect explosion vaporizes everything nearby. He can shoot a ring of fire around his opponents. When the Human Torch combusts, he burns up the oxygen around the area, which incapacitates anyone nearby as they begin to suffocate. And lastly, the Human Torch has shown that he can absorb fire and also release a huge blast of it too. So that's going to round up the Human Torch. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the final member of the Ultimate Fantastic Four, the Heart of Stone, the Ultimate Thing. Ultimate Thing was able to body slam and tear apart Ultimate Doom's Doombot. This very same Doombot was able to clap up Ultimate Iron Man's suit. We've seen Ultimate Iron Man take a lightning blast from Ultimate Thor's hammer and also hurt Ultimate Thor. This very same Ultimate Thor during that time was able to generate a storm which was counter on the large mountain levels of attack potency. Ultimate Thing has shown to damage Ultimate Hulk. This very same Hulk is able to casually extinguish the flames from Human Torch and also take blasts of fire from him. This very same Human Torch performs a feat where he was able to perform a powerful supernova which was capped around the country level ranges as mentioned before. We can also get Ultimate Thing even higher, folks. In fact, he himself has a direct feat where he fights against Hyperion. He was able to also take a hit from Hyperion and also damage Hyperion and send him flying. As mentioned already, Hyperion performed a feat which was capped around the multi-continental ranges. So far, we have some really good ranges of attack potency for the Ultimate Thing, and as for speed, as mentioned before, they should all scale to the massively hypersonic ranges and the relativistic speed ranges. Now, due to the Thing's mutation, his body is comprised of hard orange rock shells which protect his skin from attacks. It's even shown to take gunfire just fine as his skin is bulletproof. The Thing is resistant to hot temperatures and doesn't even feel the heat from the Human Torch. The Thing can also take a plasma blast and his skin is just completely fine. Literally, the rock can endure that type of heat, and the Thing can also breathe in acid just fine. And lastly, due to the Thing being a heavy hitter for his team, the Thing is known for brawling, grappling, targeting areas, and using nearby objects as weapons, and also performing thunderclaps. So overall, the Ultimate Fantastic Four team is very prominent and powerful. They all should easily scale relative somewhat to each other, pretty easily, having some town level scaling. There's some country level scaling you can take it up to. There's large mountain level scaling. There's some multi-continental scaling. There's some really good stuff for the Ultimate Fantastic Four. I will leave those ranges on the screen, and as for speed, they should all scale to each other easily, from the low ends of supersonic reaction speed reacting to bullets. There's some massively hypersonic scaling which you can use to change, you can change scale from other characters. As mentioned before, there's characters that can literally dodge lightning. Spider-Man can do it, and other Ultimate characters, so they would all scale to that. And of course, Reed has his own direct relativistic speed feat, and they should all scale to that too, because they can all react to each other. So anyway, that's going to round up this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been real. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.